But really, the universe is asking us to redirect because we no longer living in the past. If you continue to live in the past, that's who you're going to be. That's who you're going to be. But if you really want to make a change and be in the present moment and work towards your future, you have to shift that perspective to something better, to something more fulfilling. Welcome to the Essence of True Self podcast, where we talk about elevating and growing into our true self, magically, spiritually, physically, mentally, and emotionally. We no longer hold back who we truly are to become who we meant to be. I am your host, Oriana, and I love learning about expanding my mind, wisdom, understanding, and life in magical, spiritual, physical, and emotional and mental ways. And I just want to bring forth the clarity and wisdom that I have learned on my journey so you can apply to yours. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, but continue to expand who you're meant to be in this lifetime. Welcome. Hey, welcome back to the Essence of True Self podcast, and I'm your host, Essence Ori, and I hope your week, your day, your evening is going pretty well. If not, of course, I'm sending you love and light in this time, and to give you encouragement to keep going and not give up. And before we get into this episode, of course, we're going to do some breathing to really center ourselves and ground ourselves in this moment. So let's get into it. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let's do one more. Breathe in. Breathe out. I hope that grounds you and centers you into this present moment and being open and receptive to the message I have for you today. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Let's go for all my videos and all my podcasts. So if you feel called to listen to this wholly and fully through, stay tuned. But as you can see by the title, complaining calls for redirection. I mean to do this episode, but I just been, procrastinating. And, sometimes I want to allow the creative juices to flow to me. I don't want to force it out, I want it to naturally flow in a natural way that aligns with me. But I really want to talk about complaining a lot now. Like, lately, I've been complaining. Not like lately, because I have corrected myself and I got myself together. But, like, a couple of weeks ago, like, I was really complaining a lot, like, about the smallest things and realizing I am the negative energy that I am carrying around instead of I'm assuming people sending negative energy to me. It's called accountability. Okay? Sometimes we really have to just hold ourselves accountable of what our actions and what our thoughts and what our patterns is trying to show to us. Like, who are we being? Like I've been saying in all these different episodes. But complaining really just put in perspective. Complaining is not really helping anybody. It's literally, if anything it's doing, it's adding more discouragement to our situation at hand or different things in our life. We can complain about the smallest thing, but we're not even aware that what are we complaining about. Once we become aware of that, we have the opportunity to shift that into something better. And complaining can really hold us back from actually receiving the things that we want. Because if we complain about the smallest thing, why do you think the universe ain't giving you what you want right now? Why do you think that? They not going to give you something that you feeling like you have to complain about everything else around you and then you still expect great things to happen for you. That's not how it works. Even though we hang around people that may complain about the smallest thing or talk about other people or judge other people, but at the same time, what did they tell you about yourself? The smallest thing you complaining about is a really reflection of who you are and who you being in that time. A lot of our actions are a reflection of who we are. But really, we can shift that and change that, like shifting our perspective, our paradigm to something better, to something more fulfilling to us, and not hold us back from what we really want out of life. Complaining can really just stop the manifestation from actually coming in for us. And me catching myself in moments of wanting to complain about the smallest minuscule things, like, it really helped me put in perspective. I'm like, what am I really complaining about? Am I really not happy about where I'm at right now? Okay, if I'm complaining about these small things, how do I expect a real shift to change in my life? Am I complaining about all these things that are really meaningless at times? It doesn't even matter, you know? I mean, certain things does matter, but like, it matter to us because we make it matter to us. Besides the point. It's really that we want to hold on to something. For me, it was something from my past, like something to hold on to, hold me in that vibration, lower vibration, to hold on to a version of myself that does not need to be here anymore. And complaining is the number one thing, because it wasn't helping me, it wasn't saving me, but I was really complaining about me have to do certain things that I want to do to get what I really want to get. And I've been talking to my sister about that as well. Like, we have to do certain things that we don't want to do to be able to get the things we want to get. But complaining about it the whole way through is not helping the situation. It's not helping us feel better about the situation. How about we shift our mindset to something better, to really shift our perspective on things? And that's why complaining is redirection. Complaining is asking you, what are you really complaining about? I'm not saying don't feel your feelings, don't express how you feel, but are you going to continue to complain about the same thing over and over and over again? Now you put in your mind that it's not possible for you. It's not capable in your reach for you to get what you want. Because if you complain about, like, let's say you're in traffic and the traffic is at a stop still, and you're like, oh my God, it's taking forever. This, oh my goodness, I can't do this. This is crazy. You know, you're going off on a rain page. That moment right there, you have to be like, what if this is working out in my favor? What if this stopped me from getting in a car accident? What if this is slowing me down to really take in the present moment and not constantly be on the go, go, go? It's all about shifting your paradigm into something better. And I've really been praying on this and just been talking to God about this, universe, and just talking to my team about this. Like, every time I feel like I want to complain, redirect me to joy. Redirect me to fulfillment. Redirect me into gratitude. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. They instantly raise your vibration and your consciousness. It's like, oh, I'm catching myself in these moments so I can pivot to something different. And I feel like gratitude and pivot, I don't think that's a word. Pivotation? I don't think that's a word. Gratitude and pivoting in your life is like, I feel like that goes hand in hand if you really want a full shift in your life. If you show like the miniest thing of gratitude to the smallest thing you might not think is very important, will help really bring things into fruition, allow things to unfold in your favor. Like, so many things have happened for me to get what I want by shifting my paradigm to gratitude. When I feel like I want to complain, when I want to be angry, of course I'm feeling my emotions and expressing it, but I don't allow myself to stay there. And that's where we mess up at, when we stay in a spot that we don't need to be. It's a temporary thing. Every emotion is a temporary thing. Everything in our life is really temporary. But what are we doing in that very moment to shift our perspective? I just heard change is good for our evolution. So shifting your perspective, shifting your complaining into something better that's more fulfilling to you, so for more happiness, from a different way of living, like a higher lens over your life, instead of just focusing on that one thing. Look about all the blessings that you have around you, instead of holding on to things that don't even matter. Like complaining about, oh, you got your drink wrong. Okay, all right, that happened. You can let the person know, like, well, this wasn't right. Can you really give me a new one? Or something like that. Really not taking your anger out on other people, but also checking yourself in that moment. Be like, okay, this is a moment for me to have an opportunity to shift my perspective. Be like, okay, Now I get to tell this person, like, yeah, I don't want to do that. Oh, can you fix this for me? Oh, you know, to make myself feel better and not hold on to like the negativity of it all. When we hold on to the negativity, it kind of stop us in our track. Not kind of, it does. Because we want to complain about stupid stuff. Like, I feel like we complain about so many things that are really unnecessary. Judging other people's life that does not even matter. Like, it always shows us the actions and the thoughts and the pattern just really shows us who we are, and complaining is not adding to it. So like I said, when you do feel like you want to complain, it's actually for you to redirect. So redirect into something that's more fulfilling, more joyful, more happy, more gratitude, or more creativity. Like, express that in a different way instead of allowing that moment to dictate everyday life your everyday life. And like I said before, we just hold on to things because we have this past perception of what had happened to us, and we want to continue to hold on to that. If we constantly holding on to the past, of course we're going to hold on to small little things that's happening in our everyday life, because it give us a reason to be upset and mad and be all this sad and feeling like we're not good enough. But really, the universe is asking us to redirect, because we no longer living in the past. If you continue to live in the past, that's who you're going to be. That's who you're going to be. But if you really want to make a change and be in the present moment and work towards your future, you have to shift that perspective to something better, to something more fulfilling. Like I said in my last episode, like, we choose to be like, oh, hard and struggle is so easy for us. Really, it's not. It's not easy. Abundance and happiness and joy is happiness. It's easy for me, because complaining is not helping anything. It's more adding to the struggle of your life, if you want to use that word. So it's up to you now to see how you really want to shift the complaining factor in your life to something better. And when I tell you that you're not going to shift your life, when you do small things, it has a ripple effect when you continue to do this for like 3 weeks. That's how you can really create a habit to really shift and see a change in your life and the way you view life and how you want to show up for life. And you can do that. You have the power to do that. We always have the power to shift our reality in any moment. But we have to have the willpower to do that. We will want to do that. We desire to do that. You got to do that. So, ask yourself, what are you complaining about right now? Or what are you complaining about on a repeat that you can change and you can shift your perspective on? It could be a physical change or how you view it. And how you view it will give you a different solution to how to resolve it. Because when we complain, it makes us feel bad and sad and not very happy about the situation. Why not switch it to something that's more joyful and happy, more fulfilling for you? When we shift into something better that's more uplifting, then that's when we will see a change. But if you're not used to having great things happen in your life, it's called creating a habit to know that great things are your birthright. Things can happen in your favor in the best possible way. But you have to allow that in. And you have to constantly work at it, It's not going to come overnight. Like I always say, it's a habit that you have to create for you to actually feel the fulfillment in your life. And when things like that, people that like to complain and judge and be very negative, they are not for you, because you're not living in that vibration. I'm not saying we never going to have hard times. Of course we're going to have hard times. Feel your feelings. And then after that, now you have the chance to pivot to something different. We always have the opportunity to pivot. We have opportunities all around us. But we got to choose what we want to do with that opportunity. A lot of times we miss the opportunity because we're so blinded by what we used to and the negative thoughts and what other people think about us or how we judge other people. But you're not really going to see the opportunity if you're not aware of what you're doing and how you can really shift that. So, yeah, what are you complaining about? What are you holding on to that you're willing to release? Release it. Write down all the stuff that you just so tired of and burn it. A burning ritual is always good to release it all out. But I would prefer you to burn it outside, away from your home, so you won't have that in your house. In your house. If you can't not, go outside, away from your home, you can do it in the back or the front of your house, like on the road, and let it burn because it's going to go into the wind. And then release that. And ask yourself, okay, what's the next step after you do the releasing processing? Feeling your feelings and letting it all out. And then now you ask yourself, what's next? What do I really want? What do I want my everyday life to look like? How can I constantly work at that version of myself so I can continue to align with that version of myself? Because we have to align with it so everything else can unfold around it. But you have to meet that version of yourself every day. Every day. And I know you got this. It might sound daunting. It might sound scary at first. But after a while, you'll be like, it's second nature to you. Like everything you do in your life that's a habit, it becomes second nature to you. Now allow the complaining to redirecting to something better become second nature for you. So yeah, I hope this video, this podcast really help you. But let's think about an affirmation we can leave off on this episode. It's pretty short, straight to the point, because I don't really have much to say about complaining, but I just know I was complaining a lot, and I was like, I don't like this version of myself. Now I can switch that. Now I don't want to be in that vibration. I don't want to be in that frequency. I'm going to switch this. Like, I don't have to stay where I'm not feeling good, Like I said, struggling is not my birthright. Thinking negatively is not my birthright. Like, stressing is not my birthright. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And people might think this very condescending, like very naive, very delulu. Let me be delulu then. Let me be delulu, because some people just don't understand that you can shift it. Because when you actually make that shift and people call you delulu until something actually happen in your favor, they like, oh my God, how you do it? Because I believed in myself and my opportunities that was going to find me everywhere I go. That's why affirmation is important. That's why always journaling and being aware of your action is very important. That's why breath work is important. That's why I always say these things, so you can actually shift and pivot into a version of yourself. Of course, you have to shed the old for the new to come in. That's the positive way I can put it. And it's not an easy process. I'm never going to say it's easy, but it's worth it. It's very rewarding. It's very healing. You have to do the work to feel comfortable in your own energy. A lot of people don't talk about that. You have to do the work to actually feel comfortable in your own energy, to really feel good and safe within your own energy. We look for safety and peace and happiness and joy in other people when it all lies in us first. And when people do come around, we know how that feels when they do meet the standard of our safety and our peace and our wholeness within ourselves. And when somebody else that doesn't come around, we know they're not for us, like the way they make us feel. But that all's all up to you. Are you going to allow these moments, these complaining, speaking things over certain situation over your life that does not serve you in your highest good to continue to dictate your life? Or are you going to just shift it into something better? Yeah. That's all I can say. I think I'm going to leave off with this. The choices I make is aligned with my highest good. Let's drop into that affirmation. The choices I make is aligned with my highest good. The choices I make is aligned with my highest good. I hope that affirmation help you feel grounded. If you want to continue to use that as a mantra, as a weekly word you want to use, a monthly word, a yearly word, allow that to be that for you, and let me know if that really helps you and guides you to where you need to be. And if you really like this podcast slash episode slash video on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share with somebody who might need to hear this. And if you listen to on podcast form, rate, comment, and follow the podcast so we can grow and meet more like-minded individuals to reach more people like us. And I really hope this helped you. Let me know by leaving a blue heart below. Until next time, family.